Today I begin a new life. Today I shed my old skin, which hath too long suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I am born anew, and my birthplace is a vineyard where there is fruit for all. Today I will pluck grapes of wisdom from the tallest and fullest vines in the vineyard, for these were planted by the wisest of my profession who have come before me, generation upon generation. Today I will savor the taste of grapes from these vines, and verily I will swallow the seed of success buried in each, and new life will sprout within me. Welcome to Flourish. I'm Diane Planetin, and you're in the right place if you're ready to create an inspired life. And we do so by working on our own personal development so we can be strong role models for those we love and mentor. We're going to discuss Og Mandino's the greatest salesman in the world. He has 10 scrolls embedded in this book, scrolls of wisdom that I could not actually find the true origin of, but I thought worth sharing because it applies to everybody. And the greatest salesman in the world is a historical story that he tells through a parody, and it is worth picking up. So, scroll number 1. How fantastic is that? Today I begin a new life. You know, we're well into the year now, and it's never too late to begin again, to start afresh. Beginning of the week, beginning of the month, beginning of the weekend, whatever works for you. He goes on to say, the career I have chosen is laden with opportunity, yet it is fraught with heartbreak and despair, and the bodies of those who have failed were piled atop another, would cast a shadow dawn upon all the pyramids of the earth. Yet I will not fail as the others, for in my hands I now hold the charts which will guide me through perilous waters to shores which only yesterday seemed but a dream. What he's trying to say is he's trying to move forward. He's moving, he's doing, he's creating, and every day you have that opportunity to taste the fruit of life, to move forward, to be a positive role model, to be a positive influence, and to use your supersonic brain power for the good of yourself and your quest for success, and the good of others as you guide and teach them along the way. It goes on to say, time teaches all things to him or her who lives forever, but I have not the luxury of eternity, nor do any of us. And how is this accomplished? He goes on to say, for I have neither the knowledge nor the experience to achieve greatness, and already I have stumbled in ignorance and fallen into pools of self-pity. Has anybody been there, done that? This is positive inspiration. This is thought-provoking. This will help you, this book, just to push yourself a little forward. Give yourself a little bump, right? Just rise up to the occasion. Yeah. So how will this be accomplished? Well, the answer is simple, he says. I will commence my journey unencumbered with either the weight of unnecessary knowledge or the handicap of meaningless experience. Nature has already supplied me with knowledge and instinct far greater than any beast in the forest, and the value of experience is overrated, usually by old men who nod wisely and speak stupidly. So this is a really fun read because it's almost like when you get out there in the world, you find out all kinds of funny things. He goes on to say, in truth, experience teaches thoroughly, yet her course of instruction devours men's years, so the value of her lessons diminishes with time necessary to acquire her special wisdom. So true, isn't it? In truth, experience teaches thoroughly, yet her course of instruction devours men's years, So the value of her lessons diminishes with the time necessary to acquire her special wisdom. It takes years of study, years of learning, years of reading and devouring. And what I really love about this day and age is we now have the technology. If we don't have time to read, maybe we have time to listen to a podcast or an audio book. It helps. It helps reinforce things. It gets you thinking and thought-provoking. It really does. The story goes on, but I'm going to read one more excerpt. It says, I will form good habits and become their slave. And how will I accomplish this difficult feat? Through these scrolls. There's 10 scrolls we're going to talk about, by the way. It will be done, for each scroll contains a principle which will drive a bad habit from my life and replace it with one which will bring me closer to success. Let me say that again. Through these scrolls, it will be done, for each scroll contains a principle which will drive a bad habit from my life and replace it with one which will bring me closer to success. Driving out those bad habits, but giving you a new one. I love that. I love that. For it is another of nature's law that only a habit can subdue another habit. Ooh, did you just have an aha moment? Only a habit can subdue another habit. So in order for these written words to perform their chosen task, I must discipline myself with the first one of my new habits, which is as follows. And this is what he says. This is his new habit. I will read each scroll for 30 days in this prescribed manner before I proceed to the next scroll. Oh, isn't that interesting? So he's saying, like, let it digest, let it imprint on you, really, really get into that new habit. I will read each scroll for 30 days in this prescribed manner before I proceed to the next scroll. And it makes me wonder if that's why everyone thought, 30 days for a new habit. I don't know. Everyone's different. How long it takes you to let go of an old habit and form a new one? Well, I guess it depends on the individual, because it depends how it's ingrained in you. It depends on your environment. It depends on your mindset and your situation. That's why I like this book. It just, gives you a lot to think about. And this is what I like. As the words of these scrolls, he says, are consumed by my mysterious mind, I will begin to awake each morning with a vitality I have never known before. My vigor will increase, my enthusiasm will rise, my desire to meet the world will overcome every fear I once knew at sunrise, and I will be happier than I ever believed it possible to be in this world of strife and sorrow. Can you imagine? You'll be happier than you ever believed you could be. I mean, that is just fantastic. So scroll number 1. Today I begin a new life, and I make a solemn oath to myself that nothing will retard my new life's growth. I will not lose a day from these readings, for that day cannot be retrieved, nor can I substitute another for it. I will not break this habit of daily reading from these scrolls, and in truth, a few moments spent each day on this new habit are but a small price to pay for the happiness and success that will be mine. That is just that just hits it right on the head. That hits it right on the head of the nail. I will not break this habit. Daily reading from the scrolls, the few moments spent each day on this new habit, are but a small price to pay for the happiness and success that will be mine. It is a small price to pay. And working your mental muscle is just like working your physical muscle. You can't start doing bench presses or bench or arm curls or whatever have you and expect muscles to form immediately, overnight, spectacularly. You have to strain them, you have to work them, and then you have to let them rest. and then you have to strain them and then work them, and then you have to let them rest. So it's the same with our mental muscle. Oh, fantastic. this is how this particular chapter scroll message ends. As I read and reread the words in the scrolls to follow, never will I allow the brevity of each scroll, nor the simplicity of its words to cause me to treat the scroll's message lightly. Today my old skin has become dust. I will walk tall among men or women, and they will know me not, for today I am a new man and a new life, and you will lead a more inspired one.